information or opinions expressed by the host, co-host, and or guests on this podcast do not necessarily represent or reflect the views of our company, our sponsors, and advertisers. Please consult your attorneys, CPA, or business owners, advisors before making any business decision. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. This is Small Business Stand-Up. I'm your host, Coach Jay, and I got some great entrepreneurs on here again this week, guys. But before we get started, we'll give you guys 10 seconds to go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. Take care of your business. That's 10. You already did it anyway, right? So we'll jump right into this thing here, man. From the top to bottom, left to right, tell us your name, your company name, what do you do, and where you logging in from.
Ashley Jackson here, Ashley Lorraine, MED. I own Millionaire Mindset Accountability Club. I am logging in from Houston, Texas. If you see my face and it looks familiar, it is likely because you know me from the real estate investing world and public speaking. But your girl is now in tech, and I'm excited to talk about it tonight. Welcome. Now, y'all already know me, man. So we'll pass this on. We'll pass this thing.
You said top to bottom, bottom to top. What's top, what's bottom, man?
Left to right, top to bottom, I guess you could say.
Okay, so my name is Danielle McArthur. I'm owner of DCDR Solutions, business coaching. I'm currently working with Miss Ashley Lorraine, to build up our Millionaire Mindset Accountability Club, and as a flagship coach under the business coaching platform. So I am logging in from beautiful, amazing Birmingham, Alabama, originally from Cleveland, Ohio.
Hey, Cleveland, Ohio. We're doing Ohio shout out.
Yes.
I'm Derick Gant. I'm an investment advisor. I manage retirement and investment portfolios. We also help companies to figure out how to become more profitable through understanding their books and organizational development. I am calling in from Toledo, Ohio. So she said, okay. That's what we're doing over here.
Dope. It's on you, brother.
And I'm Marquin D Alberty, owner, investing for cows. I teach all cows how to build generational wealth, the process, just the approach. Really open and manage self-direct retirement accounts. So,
excellent. Well, welcome everybody, man. So you know how we do, man. We just jump right into this thing. So y'all ready to buckle up? I got some questions for y'all, man. Let's dive in this thing, man. Well, first of all, how was your weekend?
I was in Minneapolis this weekend, and it was an extremely busy weekend. I went to a couple graduations and a couple graduation parties. Haven't done that in years since my youngest son is 25, but it was cool. I had a good weekend.
What stocks did you guys invest into?
None this weekend.
What stocks did you guys invest into?
There's nothing this weekend.
Nothing this weekend.
What you mean?
Let me know when that question passes. I'll come back.
I just do a curveball. I know, Derick. I do a curveball.
Well, definitely, man. You know, the weekends we got to make sure, we hustle hard through the week. Got to make sure we still take a little time for ourselves too. Don't forget about yourself, man, and your mental. Your mental. You know what I'm saying? That's very important. Let me let somebody in real quick, Mr. Andre.Buckley. Andre, what's up, brother?
How's everybody doing today?
Doing great. Matter of fact, you right on time, bro. It was on you. Basically, what's your name, where you calling in from, and what do you do? I hate to put you on the spot like that.
Not a problem, brother. Not a problem at all. My name is Andre Buckley. I'm calling in from Midland, Michigan. Little ways from where we were born and raised in Saginaw, Michigan. I am originally from the area. Actually, I will be relocating to Nevada just in a couple of days. So I got your call, brother, and I'm glad to be able to join you. And my background is in finance and real estate. So I guess we all pretty much got something in common here. I'm looking to do more on the real estate side than the finance side. But I'm certified financial planner. I've been in the business for a little over 10 years. 3 kids, empty nester, new chapter of life. So it's all good.
Hey, Andre, it's beautiful on this side, bro. It's beautiful on this side.
Yes.
Amazing team.
Welcome. So look, we're gonna jump right into this thing, man. So the first question, man, is as a matter of fact, let me post it up here for you guys, man. Post it up here for you guys. And bear with me with this system, man. But here we go. Can you guys see that?
We saw it
Yes.
momentarily.
It just went.
There we go.
Okay, I can't see it on my side. Okay. So what business or investment podcast do you listen to on YouTube, guys? What are you stuck on? Give people the game. Anybody?
I'm out of this one. I don't listen to podcasts or any of that stuff. Maybe I should, but that's not my bag.
Look,
Okay.
hold on, I can't remember the name. Look, I'm gonna find it because it's a business coaching podcast that I listen to where they drop a lot of gems about this kind of high level overviews, how to target high value customers, approach how to layer and get as many clients as possible. So I've gotten a lot of good information from listening to that business coaching podcast.
Oh, dope. What about you guys?
I used to listen to quite a bit of, I haven't listened in a while, but Earn Your Leisure, that was kind of my go-to for a minute. So those guys kind of really broke down some things in ways that I see a lot of younger generation understanding, and I kind of pick up on some of that when I'm trying to transfer that information as well. Yeah. On Your Leisure, man, they own it, man. They interview a little bit of everybody, and man, they have some rock stars on that show, bro. So if you guys get a chance to log in and check that out, definitely do it. What about you, Derick?
No, I don't listen to any investment or money podcasts because, I've been doing 30 years, but I do listen to Modern Health, and I listen to Afrotech. It's Black Tech, Green Money, Afrotech. So I listen to them, and I listen to them because my buddy actually is the podcast host here in Toledo, even though it's a national podcast. So, if somebody wants to listen to a podcast, they can check this one out. That's the one they need to listen to.
There you go, bro. But what's the one you just said? You said Afrotech? You said Afrotech?
Yeah, it's called Black Tech, Green Money, and it's Afrotech.
Black Tech, Green Money.
So you two technology queens should probably check it out. They have an annual convention. They have a lot going on for there's a lot of venture capital opportunities, a lot of right up your alley, to be honest.
Okay. Excellent, man. Well, I'm definitely an alumni, man, of YouTube University, man. I'm definitely always listening to some podcast day in and day out. Like when I'm in my car, man, it's a rolling university. So I'm listening to Bigger Pockets. Bigger Pockets, if you want to get into real estate, they got everything you need to know on Bigger Pockets, man. So it really don't cost you any money neither, though. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a young entrepreneur or looking to be an entrepreneur or whatever the case is, get into real estate, Bigger Pockets is a great one. Like Andre said, Earn Your Leisure, man, you can get some gems from them, man. So definitely do that. All right. So let's Michelle.
Let me just add one thing to that too. I don't listen to podcasts at this point, and I think it's important. And you finance people, let us know. But you need to put some money aside to continue your education, right? So for me, I'm not listening to podcasts because I invest in coaches. I'm talking tens of thousands of dollars. But what that gives me is I have everything that I need at the touch of my fingers or just at a phone call. And it really is the shortcut to everything that you do in business. So the podcasts are great for starting out. But I think once you get to a certain point, you need to start putting in your budget money for continuing education or real mentorship and leadership that's tailored to you and what you are trying to do.
You better tell.
And that's dope. We actually talked about that too last week. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I mean, a lot of times we try to short circuit that, right? And just only listen to podcasts without having that coach. You're absolutely right. You need to invest into a coach for sure.
Thanks.
But if you don't have any money, you know what I'm saying? See me.
You go to Coach YouTube.
You got to crawl before you walk.
You know what I'm saying? See, when I first started out, I drove trucks for a living for a while, right? And I was tired of listening to the motor every single day or listen to the 5-10 songs every day. So I'm like, I need to listen to something to keep me motivated or focus on what I need to be focused on. And by just doing that alone, it turned me on to wholesaling houses. You know what I'm saying? And then that got me out of trucking. It got me into other different things. So it works. Just like reading a book will work as well. But when you want to get to that next level, get you a coach. Absolutely. I agree. What about you, Miss Michelle? Are you, Ms. Mitchell? Can you hear me?
Are you
Mitchell?
Mitchell?
Ms. Mitchell, I'm sorry. On this side, there's a lot of words and stuff going on over here, so it's kind of running together. So I apologize.
You fine, like you know my name. You know my name. Actually, I don't really listen to a lot of podcasts. When I first got into real estate and wholesaling and investment, I would just go on YouTube and just put something in and just kind of, I taught myself pretty much. Just kind of look at different videos and things like that, but I don't have a specific one that I actually listen to.
Okay, absolutely, man, that's huge there. All right, did we squeeze everything out of there? So we do a little bit of books, we do a little bit of YouTube, and we make sure we do like Ashley was talking about, get you somebody, man, that's gonna give you the answer that you need in that timely manner, right on point. So I definitely agree with that. All right, here's the next question, guys. You ready for this one?
Lista.
All right. I don't know. For some reason, this thing is kind of slow today, man. So y'all bear with me. Did that come up?
We got it, Jay. Yeah, it's up.
Okay, I don't even see it there. You guys
What
see
question
it now?
should you ask your new CPA? Yep, we got it.
Right. What question should you ask your CPA, guys? Now, understand, we're talking about people who just getting it as an entrepreneur, right? Don't know all the ins and outs of that, right? And it's important to have your CPA, tax preparer or whatever. What questions should they be asking?
Have you worked in my industry before? Have you worked with anyone else who does this kind of business? First of all CPAs are not built equally. And Jay, we talked about this before the call started. The reason why a lot of businesses fail in the first 3 years is because you didn't have that accounting and taxes right.
Yes.
I can't wait to hear from these finance people though. What
Look, man, I was about to say, I'm waiting on the finance people because they already know you got to get your money right before you got to make sure they understand, like you said, what records do I need to have? And yes, are you used to working with my business? I think that's the biggest one. I ain't trying to swagger jack yours, but because, whether you're selling products or services, yes, how much you travel, all of those components go into play, and you got to make sure that person is ready to handle what you're dealing with.
Yeah. So true.
Yes, I think you hit the nail on the head. You find some that are super, super, super aggressive, and then you find some that are super, super, super conservative. So the thing to look at is not how aggressive or conservative they are, but are they a right fit for you in your industry and have that expertise of doing what you need to be done relative to your business and how your business operates.
You don't want them practicing on your stuff, right?
I'm about to say, you got to pull them reviews. You got to show me some 5 stars.
Exactly. But
the way I read the question was, what question should you ask your new CPA? Meaning those are all the questions you should have asked before it was your new CPA.
Oh, he took it to the next
I'm just saying.
That's a mic drop.
So I would tell a client or a new person that has a new CPA that they've already hired, I would ask them, how do you want my data conferred to you from deductions and expenses and tracking and income, and how do I book these entries so that when I give them to you, it's easy for you to understand, manipulate, and produce the services that I'm hiring you for? That would be my number one question I would ask as a new person, because if you hire a new CPA or a new accountant and you don't talk to them until it's tax time, and now you're pulling together receipts and things out of shoe boxes and grocery bags, and you didn't really keep track of your mileage and all those type of things, that's going to be a huge issue at that point.
Leaving money on the table.
I think this goes back to the
You should
shortcut.
always-
You hear that 30 years of experience talking? It takes most people 30 businesses to fail to realize that's the question that you should ask. That, my friends, is the shortcut. Sorry about that. We just had to appreciate that, Jim, real quick.
Right. And a great CPA will always let you know if it's a great time to open a new business for a situation.
Break that down, bro. What's the science behind it?
Like anytime you want to set up a new business, you want to talk to your CPA to figure out if this is the right process to go through. So they should have an education. They should have the right tax laws to let you know if this is the right time to open up a new business.
Like if the climate,
They'll help you
market
develop a
climate
business
is right.
plan that educates you on different tax liabilities. You just want to sit down and talk to them and really build a relationship.
Because ultimately, guys, we have to realize that if the tax is not right, it falls on your shoulders. So you need to vet that person as much as possible. If you got to say, "Hey, man, what you doing? What you doing later on? Let me take you to dinner. Let's sit down and have a conversation." You need to know they've been doing it for a while. Whatever it takes, get a chance to know that person before you put your life in their hands, so to speak. Right? It's important.
Right. You want to pay attention to how interested they in and getting to know your business and getting to know you. So pay attention to how interested they are in you and your business, your brand.
Their energy. Energy got to match, man.
Yeah.
It better match.
How you doing, Miss Sheila?
I am doing well, enjoying the conversation.
Absolutely. Welcome. So yeah, definitely important, man. So, all right, any questions out of that, guys? We're gonna go to another one here.
No, I'll just follow up and say I would agree with Derick with the software. What software do you use? When I worked with one CPA, they used one software, then I hired another one. They wasn't familiar with it, so then I had to go and switch up all my data. And I'm like, when you're transferring that information, it is a whole problem sometimes, So I think that would definitely be my question to if I got a new CPA, like what software do you use? Are you familiar with this software? Because I don't know if I want to do all of the, transferring of data if you're not familiar, with it. Because when I did it the last time, it was just a lot of work for me,
Yeah. So even if you got
if I could add, I think it's probably good to look at the firm as well as the individual that you're doing business with.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point too, man. Because they're known as doing some shaky things, or whatever the case is. They may kind of press that person to doing it too. So yeah, vet them as well. Everybody get the vetting around here, man. You want to vet this. That's real.
Yeah, and I think audits too. Like I've dealt with a lot of people who dealt with people who I guess they're more likely to get audited. I don't know, but it was like a couple of people who had accountants, a couple of my clients who had to pay back the state so much, but this particular person was under investigation. So all of their cases were being audited. So now they're, high on the red flag. So I think if you want to ask these type of questions, like, have you been audited? Are you being investigated by, the IRS right now? Because that's going to probably influence, not that I'm doing anything wrong, but I want myself to go through smoothly.
But I mean, this applies to business owners as well, but it also applies to you personally. If you don't have a company and you get ready to file your taxes, it'd be wise to vet them as well. You know what I'm saying? People do a lot of things, man, get you in some trouble with the IRS. You don't want that smoke.
No.
You don't want that smoke. They want their money.
You're the only people that always get their money.
Exactly. They'll take you and the money. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want that problem. So
Here's money if you can owe too much.
And are they familiar with all the schedules? I think that's another one, right? So you have like your Schedule C, your Schedule E, it's all these different schedules. And if this person is not familiar with filling them out, they only familiar with the, one schedule. And I know I work with a lot of hairdressers, and their people are not familiar with, how to fill out these other schedules. And you could be missing out on a lot of resources because this individual doesn't fully know how to fill out these schedules, so.
And also, it may be some things that just came out in 2022, right? When you're ready to file at the end of the year or next year, whatever the case is, that maybe you're able to save some money, right? And if that person don't know what they're doing, or don't know about those different, the different things or whatever, you paying more money than you have to. Yeah, definitely set them down and talk to them, have a drink with them, whatever you need to do. You need to know that they know what they're doing. Simple as that. So, all right. Man, you guys are killing it, man. I thought a couple of was going to be hard, but that's not what you guys. So after this question right here, we about to go over here. And Ashley, we're going to go take about 10 minutes or so, kind of break down what you got going on over there. All right. So here's the question, guys. Man, this thing is slow today, guys, so bear with me. You guys see that?
We saw it with the first one.
Going away.
Yeah, it's clowning on me, man. It's showing out on me today. So y'all, so I'll read it. So what are your methods of raising capital for your investments? You guys have a method that you guys use to raise capital? How do you raise capital? Go ahead.
So for my nonprofit, we sell products. So one of the products that we sell is our 5-minute, can you see it? Our 5-minute journals. We sell affirmation cards. Can you see that? Affirmation cards. And all of it is to pay it forward for our clients. So that's one of the things I'm looking at. Products. I look at, we look at our clients holistically, so we see their needs. And can we provide them with a product that supports our initiative, which is, coaching and consulting, while also helping them to transform their lives. So journals, affirmation cards, things like that, to kind of help our process and their process too.
Yeah.
Mine is very non-traditional, Jay. You are in a similar field as that I am. I have my roots in wholesaling, and then I very quickly transitioned to creative finance, taking over mortgages, selling with owner financing. So I'm proud to say I have never had to raise capital for any of my investments because I do it creatively. Now on the business end of things, and Danielle will tell you this, typically I am offering equity in my companies. I've had a lot of success in building companies and selling them. I can't wait to talk to y'all a little bit more about that in a couple minutes or so. But now it's to the point where the buyers of my previous companies strongly believe in most things that I'm doing, not all things, but most things that I'm doing. And they are happy to write that check in exchange for some equity because they've seen my history and my track record of being able to build businesses with literally $0. And Danielle has been able to witness this over the last few weeks and kind of see how it's done. And then I sell them very lucratively. So mine is very non-traditional, just like what we do in real estate, Jay. It's not the traditional way, and we're able to kind of maneuver it around and make it work for us.
Dope. That's one thing I haven't done, sold a business yet. So I need some game on that. I need to know how to sell a business. So it's a whole different ball game, right?
Tell Derick they're gonna get you evaluated.
Yeah.
I got you.
Exactly. All right. Anybody else raise any capital at all? Well, we doing this commercial stuff, so I'm doing syndication now, right? So my thing now is I'm reading a lot of books about syndication, stuff like that, and raising capital. That's the big thing. So I want to get into this multi-family thing, but also carve out an equity position for myself, right? So my thing now is to reach out to people who looking to invest some of that money instead of putting it in a regular checking account and earning less than 1% for their money. Maybe come on with us and earn a lot more with it, right? So I got to get great at raising capital for properties all across the United States. So I'm looking forward to that. That's one of my things. That's right there now. So I'm going to get it. I ain't gonna be stopped. So I ain't gonna be stopped. They can't stop me, man. You know what I'm saying?
Speak your truth, man. Speak your truth.
What are y'all doing in a minute? So just be ready. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said, speak your truth, man.
Hey, I'm coming to holler, man. You know, so I got a good idea. I mean, I got a good deal. So you need to be knocking my door down, rather than knocking your door down. So, but I ain't got no problem getting out there knocking on the doors though, for sure.
Can I ask you this, Jay? Is raising capital something you want to do every month? Is it raising capital something you want to do every year? How did you build your mindset around raising the capital for your investments?
Well, okay.
I feel like you can figure out your process based off that mentality.
Okay, say that one more time. I'm sorry, say it again. You say how did I get my mind around raising capital? Is what you're asking me?
Right. What is your process with raising capital? Like, do you want to raise capital every month? Do you want to raise capital every 3 months?
Yeah.
What's your mindset around raising capital? Because you got to know what to do with that capital as soon as you raise it.
Yeah. So my thing is when you come to like multifamily, right? So it's not all the time you'll run across a great deal. It may be once, maybe twice a year when it comes to maybe 100-unit apartment complex, or what the case is, right? So long as I reach out to everybody and they say they're willing to invest maybe 10, 15, 20, maybe $50,000 on a particular deal or whatever the case is when I come across it. So I get enough of those people willing to invest with me. So when some do come across my table, I just shoot them an email. I got something hot for you guys. Here's a call. Jump on this bad boy and we go from there. So once you get that set up, I don't really have to do anything else but just send an email. That's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Make sure I know the ins and outs of the deal. You know what I'm saying? And let them make a decision whether if they want to go with it or not. Maybe they're not liquid at that time. Maybe they are. But if I get enough people who looking at a deal, because we're investors, and a lot of us sit around here with a little cash, waiting on a hot deal to come through. You know what I'm saying? And my job is to feed them that whenever I can get a good deal come through. So I hope I answered your question.
I'm not sure which one of them said it. I'm not sure which one. No.
I'm sorry for some of we got a little delay going on here today. This thing is showing out here today. I want to let y'all know that, but we're gonna get him together. But go ahead. What's your follow up? I'm sorry.
I had a follow up.
Oh, go ahead.
So somebody said that they invested in a coach. I wasn't on. I heard. I was listening to the conversation, and Danielle or Ashley, maybe.
Ashley.
Okay. That was the best thing to do when you're thinking about raising capital and things like that. One, we sometimes as entrepreneurs, I feel like it's hard for us to ask for the sale. So, and you have a physical product right there and, value in what you're selling. So now to go and ask a donor or, somebody, can you give me your money so I can go do this for this person? I think even creates a bigger challenge for some people, right? And then something like what you saying, Jay, I'm gonna basically you set your money here until I come across, I think that's just intimidating for some people. So I hired an impact coach to really help me to look at donors differently. And that's what she was able to do. Like, your end product is this, right? And these are your donors. Who do you know is willing and passionate about this same thing, and go have a conversation with them about it and stop looking quote unquote salesy, like, because I was going in with so much hoping and it's like, no, they're not investing in Sheila, right? They're investing in the mission of your company or in the idea that you say for you, which is an investment, a return on their investment. And that return can look like an emotional return. They just feel good because they know they gave back a little bit, a financial return, like, going into that 100 apartment complex. But you just have to have the information to know, like, when I go to ask to raise this capital, what am I looking for? Why do I need it? And have the confidence to have a conversation to inform the donor, the investor, of why you want to partner with them, And I think that was just so empowering for me when I hired that impact coach, because I was just like, oh yeah, no, but I ain't even see it like that. No, So, yeah, because I just think it's challenging to ask. That's a mindset shift to ask somebody, for their money.
See, to me, it's easy. This is what I do, right? I have no problem coming and saying, listen, I need $1 million for this $10 million property I got over here. You're going to make another $1 million in X amount of time. I have no issue with doing that, right? That's just me. So, but I definitely understand exactly what you're saying. I definitely get that. And that maybe that's not some people cup of tea. But think about it. Investors, what we do when the market goes down, we buy as investors. So if you find a great deal to where that person feel like a fool not to invest, they'd be willing to sell something to raise the money to be able to invest with you. So it's a privilege for them to work with me, whether me working with them in that situation, because I got maybe 100 more people that's willing to work with me. So my thing now is to send a blast email out to them and see who's willing to work with me. So it's like really no pressure or anything like that. You can turn it down. Maybe you don't got the liquid. You're not liquid at that time. You can turn it down. No harm, no foul. When I run across that next one, I still send your email. That's it. I already have it set up. You know what I'm saying? So, but also too, you think about your doctors, right? A lot of them are investors. You go in there and you spend some money with them. Hey, listen, he asks you what you do. Like, they always ask me what I do. Whenever I go to the doctor, I'm like, this is what I do. Are you looking for any investment properties or whatever? Let me get your number. You get that cell phone number out you, right? And that's how I go. They have that money. Sometimes because we think that we don't really have it, that other people don't have it, they got it. These people sitting on millions around here, man. Here's the financial guy right here, Derick, right? Derick, talk to me, man. Talk to me.
Well,
they got it, right?
I'm on the other side of the coin. I never raise capital for my businesses, but I get asked to raise capital for tons of businesses. They go, oh, you're the money guy. I have this business. I'm looking for this. Can you help me? And so we've been able to do like car dealerships for, $3-4 million. We've raised capital for that. We've raised capital for other variety of businesses, venture capital, franchising. So, it's an interesting opportunity. And, I know some people that get financing through grants. I know somebody just I was just in Minneapolis, and this one young lady got a $3 million grant from the University of Minnesota to do some diversity work for women. And it's always a matter of how prepared the person is. How much do they believe in their business? So I'll ask the tough questions, which aren't tough at all. Do you have, I don't even ask for the business plan. Do you have an executive business summary? What do you need? What are you asking for? Let me see that. And they go, yeah, next. And so, and people that are watching that have businesses that need to raise capital, they need to know their business better than everybody on the universe. Yes. And they need to know what they need it for, they need the funds for. They need to know all of those details. Just imagine if I asked for a prospectus. I mean, it would, this just wouldn't happen. So I think a lot of people, they love their business so much and it makes so much sense to them that when they want to go get money, they don't do all of the real world stuff, especially us. We tend to, what's the quickest way to get there? And, the bank, I've raised capital for churches. We've raised millions of dollars for churches to grow. And in the business world, they don't understand faith. So it's a hard sell. When you say, oh, we believe that we're going to pay you back. And the bank is like,
God gonna help us with this. Yeah.
God gonna sign that contract.
Right.
Yeah. So it's interesting, but I just would say to people that are trying to raise capital to get creative. And Ashley's already said that, get creative. Every business that I started, and every one I started, I still have. And I think I shared with you before, I have a fitness studio, and I didn't raise any capital for it. I positioned it. I used my existing staff. I just gave people new assignments and shifted some people around. And, I might have purchased another laptop at the most. And of course, the equipment for the actual studio, but I actually bought the studio and I negotiated that in my favor. So, getting creative and and being in a position to facilitate somebody else's needs. You know, you said, well, hey, we need to talk to Ashley about how she was able to sell these businesses. Well, she found somebody that saw value and the same value, if not more value, and was willing to take a risk. And that's one of the statements that we were making about the CPA. You know, you got to be careful. They're not entrepreneurs. I mean, by nature, they're conservative people. So you can't go to them and say, hey, do you think this is a good idea? Because they're immediately going to go, no, it's too much.
They stick with some of the strict rules, and it's like, well, what about this? And I don't know about that. Like, come on, man.
You have to be fired up. You're right, Danielle. You have to be fired up about your own business, and you have to go in. There's no plan B. Burn the boats. Your plan B is selling it once it's amazing. You know, that's your plan B.
I think too, a lot of people try to raise capital too soon. And I can relate this to real estate, right? In wholesaling, a lot of times we go for the dilapidated property. So if you think of your business when you first started, it's the dilapidated property, right? Mm-hmm. And you can sell it right at that point, but you're going to get a dilapidated property sell point for it, plus at a wholesale price, right, Jay? But if you spend some time building that business, right? And let's say you treat it kind of like maybe a flip, right? You're going to make it nicer, make sure those books look good, make sure you have your SOPs in place, make sure that it's profitable on its own. When you go to get capital at that point, you're talking about a whole nother level, a whole nother type of capital, just like it would compare to a dilapidated house versus the house that you put a little bit of work into and decided to sell it there.
Thanks.
Great example.
Yes.
And one more thing, so before we switch over, so if you get great at raising capitals, kind of like what Derick was talking about, because I get people reach out to me because I know a lot of high network type of people, right? So they'll pay you really good money to bring people in on some of their commercial properties or whatever the case is, or deals. So you get good at that, you can make you some money just doing that alone. You know?
Hey Jay, I say I don't want the money. Give me a cut of the deal.
See, I'm trying to get money up front. I'm trying to get money on the equity and the back end. I'm trying to get it all the way so I can get it. You know what I'm saying? So
there you go.
Let them tell me no, right? You let them tell me no. So.
Right.
So
absolutely.
So Jay, you trying to get the acquisition fee, the disposal fee, the management fee?
I'm trying to get it, bro. My motto is leave nothing on the table, right? You know what I'm saying? If I got to, then I will. But I'm trying to go get it. You know what I'm saying? So. Look, I'm here to make money, you know what I'm saying? And I'm a type of person, right? I want to make sure that everybody's operating with ethics. So I won't go into the gray area neither. So I got to make sure I'm not going. Gray area is the wrong area for me, right? So I ain't going nowhere near that. But if it's on the table for me to get it, I need all that. You know what I'm saying? Till you tell me
that's when you call your CPA, Jay. You say, hey, is this great? If you got the right CPA, they go, no, you're fine. Don't worry about it. I got you.
Yeah. So, man, one thing about this money out there. It's money out there. So. All right. So, look, we're going to jump right into this thing, man. With Mr. Alicia. She's going to drop some game on us, guys.
Ashley Lorraine will definitely drop some game. Yes, she will.
Ashley, what? I keep calling her that, man. I told her to check me if I do.
Make my name sound a lot sexier than it is.
We practice on that. So, all right, let's go. Let's get it. So let me see if I can do something a little different. I'm gonna try to highlight you. Let me see if I can highlight
you. Okay, you got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
Okay, there we go. I feel special.
Don't break it.
I'm getting it right. Okay. All right, Jay, do I just go?
Yeah, do you think?
All right, Ashley Lorraine here. So obviously, again, if you're tuning in, I invited a lot of my people here. You know me from real estate investing, and that is never going anywhere. I'm always going to be a real estate investor. But what a lot of people don't know is I owned a virtual assistant company a couple of years ago. And in building that company, I was able to help a much larger company, very similar to Zillow.com, build theirs. And I saw the tech world, and I saw how tech and real estate was really beginning to mesh. And so I could not get a piece of that pie. I actually sold that virtual assistant agency. I thought I did well when I sold it until I saw the guy that I sold it to resell it for $30 million. And the only difference between what I currently had and what he added to it was tech. He added artificial intelligence. He betaed my virtual assistants and used their data to create artificial intelligence to remove the human feature from the company that I had built. At that point, I became obsessed with tech. along with my obsession in real estate. And so that's how the Millionaire Mindset Accountability Club came about. I had to find something that I was passionate about, which is absolutely accountability and absolutely anything to do with the millionaire mindset, and get that into the tech field. So essentially what we do is we teach you what millionaires do. I think a lot of people teach what millionaires think. We see what millionaires say all the time through these memes, but I think it takes a millionaire to teach an aspiring millionaire exactly what we do. And the difference is, and I mentioned this before the call, before 7 a.m., I've already crushed my competition. So I'm up at 4 a.m. every day. From 4 a.m. to 7 a.m., I'm reading something, writing something, praying to something, meditating to something, working out, speaking life over myself. Then I have a 1 to 2 hour work sprint where I'm explicitly focused on what is going to make me the most money, what is going to give me the biggest bang for my buck. And I'm doing that for 2 hours a day, just focused on business. And that's why my competition is rolling over and still drooling with their spouse. Okay, so you talk about 2 hours a day, that's what, 14 hours a week that I have specifically working on it. And this came about, Jay, because a millionaire did that. Now you're in real estate too, right? And it's really easy in real estate to get stuck in the six figures, real easy. But all of my counterparts were all hitting the millions. And so I thought, well, what's your lead generation? What's your lead generation? Maybe I need to do more of that. Had the same lead generation. All right, well, what VAs do you have? Maybe I got the wrong VA. What standard operating procedures do you have? Maybe I have that wrong. And I think just one of my millionaire friends just had some pity on me. I told you I was raised in the hood, so my brain was a little different than theirs. And this person finally had some pity on your girl. And they said, listen, you're asking all the wrong questions. You're asking us the hard skills. Everybody has the hard skills. That's why we sell courses. We don't care. We give that away anytime. But what you're missing is what we do behind the scenes before we ever get to the office. And it was all about mindset, accountability. We don't get up at 4 a.m. because we're morning people. We get up at 4 a.m. because we're disciplined people, right? I don't get up and meditate every single morning because I'm this spiritual guru. I get up and meditate every morning because I need my brain to shut down for a little bit so it can realize that I'm in control of it. It's not in control of me. And so the main things that we like to focus on in this Millionaire Accountability Club is focus, discipline, organization, consistency, and immediate execution. Those are the 5 pillars that I undoubtedly believe is the difference between those of us who can hit 7 figures happily and easily, it flows right to us, and those of us who keep teetering on that 6-figure mark is simply in the execution, discipline, consistency, focus, and discipline. And organization, things that people don't want to do. So that's essentially what we teach. When you come in with us, we spend 14 days with you. By the time you leave us, you'll leave with a business plan, a life plan. What else do we do, Danielle? Lord Jesus, so much. Morning routine.
A bunch of tools to attack everyday life. Yes.
But it's every single day. There are no days off. So every morning we're doing this. So by the time you finish 14 days with us, that's 28 dedicated hours to you working on your business. And that's 14 hours of you working on your mindset, reading something, writing something, and affirming what you believe and what you want to create for your life.
Boom. Boom. Let's round of applause. Good job on that. We're gonna snap. So, anything you guys have any questions for her? Any questions for her?
Why 14 days?
Now, say it again.
My question is why 14 days?
Well, I'll give you 2 reasons. Number 1, 14 days, because we need that consistent component. So you're going to get the focus, the organization, and the discipline. You can get that day 1. But I need to make sure that by the time you leave me, you are consistent and it's what you believe in and it's a part of your daily routine. And Danielle will tell you after those 14 days, even if you try to not get up at 4 a.m., your body's going to get you up and you're going to feel like you need to get something done. The second reason is neurological, right? So I also have a master's degree in education. I was a school principal for many, many years. And I know that if we push your brain to get up past those 14 days, you're going to burn out. So I think after 14 days, we need you to rest a little bit and really start to make those routines your own. No one's ever asked me that before, Derick.
Nice.
Now you say you start rocking at 4 a.m.
Yes.
4 a.m. What y'all doing at 4 a.m.? What y'all doing at 4 a.m.? Listen, let me tell you, I thought 4 a.m. was something, right? But for some reason, I don't know why we attract just really high power, just extremely high earning people in these cohorts. I get on at 4 a.m., but by the time I pop on, most of the cohort is already on. So they usually take it upon themselves to get up at 3 a.m., some 3:15 a.m. Isn't that crazy?
But at 4 a.m. for me, I get up and I slowly go into my morning. So when I'm up at 4 a.m., the first thing I do is ask for something. If you're religious, you call that prayer. And then I go into reading, then I move into meditation. Now, the people who go through this cohort with us, the first day you're going to just watch my morning routine, because that's the way the Millionaire taught me, right? Just watch me, see what I do. And then after that, we meet with them and we create a customized morning routine for them based on their personality, because we want to make sure they actually are going to do it. So Danielle, for instance, she starts hers with the workout. She gets up and she is hitting it. She's doing her workout thing. I'm not that person, right? I need a little bit of time to kind of ease into my morning. So we customize it for each person that comes to the program, just based on their personality and on their own goals.
Excellent.
Well, I just think that's awesome. I love the way that you're integrating the morning routine, the setting yourself up to be active, to participate in your day. And I just think that just is so powerful.
Thank you.
So I applaud you. You know, that's awesome. Now, what time do you go to sleep?
Early. Listen, believe in naps. We believe in naps. I even put a nap in everybody's schedule. And I love it because the first day I always hear people say, number one, I stay up late. I'm not going to be able to get up at 4 a.m. And I'm like, all right, we're going to have to take a nap. No, I can't take a nap, man. My brain won't shut off. Maybe after 3 to 5 days of getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and doing those work sprints, you're going to take a nap.
Except for me. I still ain't got the nap master. I still stay up late. I don't know what, but I save mine for the weekend. It's like workout. When you work out, you know, you average your calories over the week, man. I got to average that out. And I make up for it on the weekend. But nope, she goes to bed early.
And I think one cool thing about Danielle, too, is she stopped drinking coffee. So she started getting up hours earlier.
Well, not coffee. Everybody who knows me knows I hate coffee, but caffeine, yes. Like, no, yeah, I was dragging at 6:30 before. Day 2, I woke up before my alarm, y'all. I woke up at 3:50, and I was like, hold on, what? So I don't know what kind of mojo, but it's the magical. Don't ask some spiritual people about that 3 and 4 in the morning, man. It's a powerful hour.
It is a powerful hour. And I think the difference is, too, a lot of people wake up and the first thing they do is work or kids, right? And that's all cool. Working kids are great. But I think in this accountability mindset, you're waking up doing what you want to do, right? You're waking up working on wealth. You're waking up working on your own personal milestones. And it's just a different type of motivation when you're waking up to do what you want to do and not to do what you have to do.
Yeah. So it said the Millionaire Mindset Accountability Club.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
thought we were going to attract like a bunch of poor people for free. I was like, man, I hope, we're going to go back and save our people. It's all rich people. I'm like, y'all don't even need to be here.
Yes, we did. We needed to be there.
Play this thing.
I think you make
the point here. Danielle, what you doing here? You been rich.
Actually,
trying to be richer. Okay.
But I think you guys make a point that lifestyle, because it sounds like that's what you're focusing on, right? Creating a lifestyle where you are ahead of your life, and some people have gotten rich through that hustle mindset, like up all night, drinking coffee, they're tired. So what it sounds like is that your company actually puts you in the driver's seat, right? Like, so you're not, in a sense, chasing the money or whatever, like you're controlling your life. And I think that's why you're probably attracting a lot of people who already have money, because they're now working on their life, and not, these other things.
And I have to piggyback off of that because it's exactly what you said. So when I started, it was like everybody in my house caught on to it. Now, they weren't waking up early, but it was just because it's so mindset driven, and it forces you to kind of reflect on what are your motivations, what are your drivers, like why do you have to get up in the morning? Why do you have to push yourself even though you're sleepy? Because I got stuff to do. But then, my husband starts kind of catching on to it. Everybody, the kids kind of getting into it. And it was just had a crazy effect on my household where it was just a whole vibe.
I love that point.
So, do you have to get up there early to be a part of it?
non-negotiable, because at that point it's about discipline, right? It's not because I need you to wake up at 4 a.m. You can do this stuff at 4 p.m. But we need to get that discipline aspect in. We need to make sure that you're
Hey, lazy people, I was trying for us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was about to say, why you got to come and ask that question?
I was trying for us, man. So, you know, but no, I'm a 4:15 riser, right? So
Okay.
15 minutes up, you know, so your guys already about 30 minutes in. So, but I'm up no matter what. I'm up.
And look at you.
Look at you.
And I'm gonna tell you, in the morning time, my head is so clear. It's so clear. The more I can do my emails, I can do everything I need to do early in the morning. But around about 2 or 3, it's like it's going down, bro. Fast.
The kids are asleep.
But I think but that aligns with the anatomy of a human being, right? Between, you know, we are on a timer, just our by anatomy, right? And so I remember being in college at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. That's when I can write my papers. It was just at night. You know what I mean? It was like how I closed my night, but that's when I got the most clarity. That's when everybody was asleep. So now I can kind of go from 2 to 6. I could pump out anything, but I didn't have energy for the day now, for the next day, if that makes sense, right? Because I've spent all my night just like up. So I'm tired throughout the morning. So making that be the first part of your day, I just think it is a game changer, right? And it fits our chemistry as human beings. You know, we go through a digestive part. We go through a part where, you know, when you're between 4 and 12 and 4 o'clock in the morning, or 10 and 4 o'clock in the morning, your body is getting stuff out of you, right? So if you wake up towards that last end, you're going to have a lot of clarity. If you ask that question or you pray, it's going to come to you, because that's when your body is literally getting out whatever it digested the previous day.
Ooh, you write that sales pitch all the way down.
So,
I was just about to say, you taking notes, Ashley?
Yes, I am.
No, I really love this. I really love this. That is amazing. They asked me, I had a question that said, if you had all the money and all the time in the world, what would you create? And I said, I will create an accountability club. Why? It's that focuses on execution. Like literally, you can hire our team and we come in and we execute, because I know when we execute, it changes your life. It changes the trajectory of your experiences. And so many of us is caught up in our ideas of what we want to do and how we're going to do this thing. But to actually experience the grit that it takes sometimes, the emotional fortitude that it takes sometimes to get that done, that's what changes you. It's who you become on the journey, not so much, you know, the goal at the end. So
let me tell you, I have to piggyback on that because I'm a course creator, right? And my course did extremely well. We sold $37,000 in 4 hours, extremely well. And so here's what I can tell you from the perspective of a course creator. When we have data that shows 5 to 10% of people completed our course and executed, for us, that's a win, right? But what that means is 90 to 95% of people who take our courses will never finish and they'll never execute it. But it's a win if we get that 5 to 10%. And so I like what you said about having the accountability with the immediate execution. Yes. And so what you'll see during our work sprint, you have to have 2 tabs open. You need to have 1 tab open when you are learning. It could be a course you're working on, YouTube, whatever it is. And our expectation is that you have another tab open and you are immediately executing what you are learning. Because what we don't want to be is those people with a bunch of books and courses and all that stuff on the shelf and be that 90 to 95% of people that never take action. And you are so right. I think that's why people do so well in our course between day 1 and day 3, because all the ideas that they have, what do I do, Danielle? I shut it down. All right, if we're not going to write it and execute it, then let's go move on to something that you are going to write and execute. And it makes a huge difference in mindset to see an end product done by you in real time in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love it. I'm
man,
like,
that's dope right there.
Amazing.
That's dope. That was my question. Like, okay, can we do this over the phone? But you said you gotta have 2 things open up. You need to, while you lift the 2, you gotta be putting it in action.
And a laptop. A phone and a laptop. You gotta be in the zone. Might have to get another phone.
We want to see that screen. We want to see that screen. And there's no excuses, right? You have Danielle, who's a business coach. We have a life coach that's in-house, and we also have a finance coach that's in-house. So there's literally no excuse other than you just didn't have enough want to.
Yeah.
I'm about to see some naked babies.
You didn't have enough want to. I know that's right.
And the network. And
man,
the other benefit is you have people that if you have a question or you stuck, like this morning, I know you mentioned social media. We're talking about social media. You know, one person couldn't figure it out. Okay, the other, while we're executing, we're talking through it. We're getting it done, you know, and it's that power of that network to get things done to help you execute right away.
So my question is, do you guys work one-on-one with an individual, or is this in small groups?
Yep, so we do it in small groups. We try to keep it 5 to 6 participants per coach. But if you want a one-on-one session, we do have those available to book. But we really try to make it, because we're beta testing for tech, we really try to make it where you don't really need those one-on-ones, because we're moving this over to the app, and we need the app to be able to give everyone what they need. But one-on-ones are available. It is an additional cost. But our belief is you shouldn't need it. You should, if you're going through our course with Fidelity, every single thing that you need is available to you. And then selfishly, right, we want to be able to sell this to a tech company. So we have to prove that the one-on-one human contact is not necessary.
Yeah.
Listen, man, she just said something about tech. Listen, man, you know, tech, I want in. What I need to get to be involved in this, man.
You're going to invest talking.
I'm going to raise some money right now. What we got, y'all? What we got? We're going to go buy something, man. You know,
look at Jay raising that capital. Get it.
Yeah, man. Let me call my people, man.
I love the fact that right now. I hear you got an exit strategy. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh yeah. See, I learned that lesson from the last business I sold. I told you guys I sold that business, and when I saw what that man did to that business and flipped and sold it for $30 million, I was like, I will never. What Jay say? I ain't leaving that money on the table ever again. And right now, I mean, y'all probably see this too. People are beating down the door to have Black women in their tech companies or to have us as the name or as the brand. And after that experience, I will never be anybody else's Black woman face for their brand. It's going to be for mine. So thank you so much for that, Mr. Buckley. I got that exit strategy firm in my brain.
So when you blow, don't forget about us over here. Come on at us.
Jay, put the light up. I got you, baby.
All right. I'm gonna hit the inbox. You gotta get back on the show with at least one time. You know what I'm saying? So listen, but that was dope. That was dope, man. So everybody that's out there, man, you guys see what they're doing, man. Be a part of that, man. You want to kind of be partners? Here you go, right here. Reach out to her. That's her name right there. DM her, holler at her, tell them you want to be a part of that. Tell them Jay sent you. All right, man. So. That was cool. So listen, we're gonna jump right into this thing, man. So are you guys ready? Y'all, everybody live? Everybody sleep? What's up? All right, let's get it. All right, so here's the question. This thing tripping again, man, but we're gonna get through it.
Ooh, that's a deep one.
Did y'all see that?
Show it one more time.
All right, for some reason this thing is not really sticking like it's supposed to, but we'll do it again here. Why is it important to foster a culture of delayed gratification in life and business? Why is that important?
If you don't delay gratification, you won't be able to enjoy the journey. It's very important, because if you don't understand the process, how would you understand, or how can you be fruitful of the blessings you get?
It's a key human quality. That's why I was just listening to a motivational on my morning when I work out and listen. They talked about that's what makes us. We can wait. And like you said, that journey, that's your experience, that's your resume. That's why people are going to pay you. That's you gotta know the importance of the journey and all those lessons, and that applies to life and business. And so you got to make, because you meet so many people, it's like, I want a big business right now. But how you going to know what to do with it if you ain't never did nothing in business? Like, you start small, little,
Man, yeah, I say the reality, they living in an illusion,
Man, what?
Well, it's a manufactured illusion, right?
Yes.
The whole thing is manufactured. They came out with the microwave. Then they came out with TV dinners.
Yeah. And
then they said, hey, look at your YouTube views or look at your social views. It's like, you got to hit them in 3 seconds or you lose them. Because if you're not, society, You can call society whoever you want, the man, them, those, whoever, they, has positioned most of us that if we don't get it right away, we're off and on to the next thing that we can get right away. And so as an entrepreneur, for this particular podcast, that is a death sentence. You know, you make a decision, you make a mental decision that I'm going to get fit, but you don't see the results for 30, 60, 90 days. And you have to be accountable. You have to be disciplined. You have to be consistent. And if you are stuck, so the question was, why is it important to create that lifestyle or cultivate that? It's because if you don't, you're going to continuously be starting something new constantly. And you will quit on the other thing. The average length of a New Year's resolution is less than 2 weeks.
Mm.
Yes.
Wow. Less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks. Second
So
week
you
of
telling
January
me-
is over. I quit.
So
That's why gym memberships go back on sale in February.
Absolutely.
So you said we're excited on the 31st, right? The first, by the 15th, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
We-
It's a wrap.
And that's a good run. Some people only make it a week.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that delayed gratification is nature, right? Like if we look at nature, when you plant that seed, it ain't rushing to, to blossom. It's gonna blossom. I don't care how much water you put on it. I don't care how much fertilizer you put in it. It's going to do. It's what we call gestation period. And everything has that, even as an entrepreneur, look like you got a baby. I got 3. I couldn't push that baby out. And guess what? I didn't want to at 6 months. No matter how much pain and suffering I went through, I knew the consequence of birthing my baby too early. I would have had to deal with some more problems that I otherwise wouldn't have to deal with. So no matter how much pain I went through, no matter how big I got, no matter how much stretch marks I got, I wanted 40 weeks, as close to 40 weeks as possible, so that I can birth a healthy baby, because that is the gestational period of that seed. And so when we're going into life and business, it's just a gestational period. And if you try to rush it, now you're going to deal with a premature business. And now you got all this extra stuff to support it because you birthed it too fast, or whatever that is that you're birthing too fast. And you're dealing more now with the consequences of prematureness than you are with the actual health of a business or whatever that is that you're trying to birth. So I think it's just nature,
I agree. I think people have to agree and jump on that analogy. I think a lot of people just don't appreciate the process. And I think someone said earlier, the journey is the key. And I like that, what you said about pregnancy, because I went through that, right? I was an older mom and I was just ready to get to the end. Can I just have a baby so I can get back to work? And what I missed was the beautiful prenatal massages, or getting my belly wrapped with the cool little wraps, the letting people rub on my tummy, just really enjoying the pregnancy and the journey, and how different that experience would have been. And focus more on enjoying each part of each day that I was changing and growing, instead of being focused on when is that 40 weeks going to be up so I can get back to it. I think that can go across anything, life and business. And that's why it's important to have that 30-year plan in terms of your life, and how China does their 50-year plan. You're not dreaming big enough. If you think you are getting instant gratification and you're able to just boom, 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 mistake number 1, you're not dreaming big enough. And then mistake number 2 is you're not setting smaller milestones for yourself that you are happy with, that pleases you along the way.
And I think that's the opposite side of it, right? So sometimes we delay gratification for too long, right? Especially as, and I don't know about males, but especially as females, we are like,
We don't do that.
Right. It's like, wait, you just accomplished this great thing, right? Like, take a breather, like a self-care day, like, and it's like, no, I gotta get to pushing. So, right, it's a balance in this gestational, period. Like, when you birth that thing, like you said, you gotta have a little small, bite-sized type of things that you're appreciating throughout the journey. But some of us won't even do that. Like, it's like head down. And then now you burnt out for even when it's time to have the gratification for whatever that is you're birthing. So
It's like, right, can you look at your kid and be like, oh, you just crawling, that ain't nothing. Call me back when you walking.
Right. You know, so it's but it's the mindset. You know, I think that we're just pushed like you were saying, Derick, we're just pushed microwave, you know, type of society. I want it now, I want it now, I want it now.
TikTok, everything.
And, yeah, TikTok, and you know, and I was pushed because I'm a long-winded individual. Like, I love conversations, and you know, it's like, well, Sheila, you got to get that down in a minute. And I was like, you know, but my person gonna want to listen to me for 5 minutes. I'm just gonna have faith and believe. You know, we can
know that's real.
But the person that really want to hear me is gonna sit and listen. You know, and not try to brainwash myself to try to consume what I gotta say down to. You know, we do it sometimes, but for the most part, yeah, it's a balance. You know.
All right, gotta let the men chime in.
No, hey, I'm rocking with y'all, man. That's a great conversation. That's a great conversation.
You know, I had to. I actually hired last year. I hired a spiritual coach because you know, I felt like I had everything else in place, and I did. I had everything else in place, but what I didn't have in place was enjoying the journey. You know, it was like, let's get to the destination. You know, I'm just trying to get to the end zone. Throw me the rock, throw it deep, forget the short pass. Let's go. You know, and it was super beneficial, but I had to practice. I had to become more aware. I had to embrace, you know, all those things. And so it was a challenge as an ex-athlete to slow down enough to enjoy practice. You know, the big joke about Allen Iverson is practice. It's just practice. But, you know, the day-to-day and the interactions, you know, because even you transfer that to the people you work with and the people that work for you. It's like, hey, let's get this done. Let's get this done versus, hey, what are we learning along the way? Who are we touching along the way? How are we touching them along the way? Is this the right way to touch them along the way? Versus just, you know, so I think that you all are correct, and it's just unfortunate that it took me, you know, 50 years to decide to learn how to slow down and enjoy the process.
Or it is fortunate because some people at 70 and 80 and still ain't learned. Some people in the grave and still ain't learned. And for my meditators out there, you know how it is when you first meditate, and it's like scan your body. You know, you got to feel your feet, feel your hands, and feel your breath, and just to be present in your body. You know what I mean? It's like your thoughts get to, well, what about the groceries and then just to be okay with, learn how to be okay with that. I mean, it is a whole learning curve, but it's so rewarding. You know,
it is.
As you start, and the reward is kind of like reflective, right? When you look back and you say, man, I handled that gracefully, or man, you know, this feels good now, or a challenge comes about and you ain't pulling your hair out. I mean, you rubbing your head, but you know, you ain't like, So yeah, I think that you just got to understand, when do we delay and when do we kind of celebrate, you know? And I think that's just a learn. It's a skill that we just have to learn. Unfortunately, it's not taught, but we have to learn it. And somebody,
I love what you and Derick just said in mentioning the spirituality and the meditation piece, because I love the way Danielle explains it. She says mindset is the new religion. And I believe it truly is. We all grew up in religion. We all have our, you know, ideas of what God is or what God isn't. But at the end of the day, what we all have in common, what every religion has in common, is mindset, and having that quiet time to really download whatever it is that you're believing in, so that you can receive what you're asking for. And I think a lot of us entrepreneurs, we ignore that part until it's too late.
Listen,
what you gotta say, Andre? Andre is in Saginaw with me. Hey, Andre.
How you doing? It's good to see you. No, I totally agree with what's been said. Trust the process. That's the epitome of delayed gratification. I mean, it's a process, and even when you get to the journey, now it's another journey starting. So it's never that you actually completing anything. I mean, you're going to keep on doing what you have to do until you can't do anymore. So as you said, Sheila, making sure you have those milestones in terms of just celebrating life, and that's just a part of the process, being able to celebrate as you go along. And that process is just day in and day out, doing what you're supposed to do, doing what you have to do. When you look at the whole delayed gratification in terms of, say, from an entrepreneur perspective, I mean, you have expenses in your business, and it's going to always be, that void will always be filled with something. So if you don't just stick with that process, I mean, there's going to always be something that can fill it up. And if it's something that's negative that's filling that void and you're not enjoying that process, I mean, that can be detrimental to life or business or anything. So trusting that process is just, that's the game plan.
So true, man.
Absolutely.
I definitely like that once you get through with a goal, another goal comes up. Like that was an aha moment for me, right? And I don't know about you guys, but I don't know. I think I had this once I'm complete with this, and it's over. And it's like, it only reveals another layer, another level, another something that you're working towards. So the journey is like never over. It's just switching. You're just using what you learn and transitioning those skills now into this new territory. So you always getting up. I say life is like an appetite. You don't tell your stomach, I fed you yesterday. So
restart.
Yeah. So now, like when you start looking at your business like that, in your life like that, in your relationships, like these are appetites and they want to be fed every day, you know?
No. Man, you guys are on point. Y'all rock stars. So listen, so on the other side of all that, right? We as entrepreneurs, we have to make sure that we working hard, right? We always in drive. But what do you do for fun, though? We got to see that other part of that, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's the question.
Right.
What do you do for fun?
Let me start. So guess what? After like 35, 40 years, I went back to roller skating.
Oh, that's what's up, man. I got my wife on a pair of skates, man.
Now, are you good at it, though?
I'm not good at it. I'm too big, but my knees hurt. But I'm not quitting. I started roller skating and I studied Spanish. So that, you know, the Spanish group, that was a good one. I do Spanish and I roller skate. Those are my two things that I added to my after my spiritual coach kind of got in my can about this work.
Okay, so you already speak Spanish already. Or you coming to the class?
I'm studying. I'm on Duolingo.
Okay.
Hey, maybe so.
It's free, so definitely welcome if you want to come. So, man, roller skating. Okay. So, what are you guys doing for fun, man?
Look, gardening. I love my yard.
So you got a green thumb.
I got the green thumb. I hand pull the weeds. I'm changing my landscape. I got a vision for my yard, and that's where that delayed gratification comes in, because especially a gardener, you gotta wait. Flowers take a couple seasons to bloom. You gotta wait, but the end result, yeah, man, that's my happy place, man. I did that this past Sunday. I had a whole bunch of deep revelations all out in my yard. So that's mine. I'm boring as hell.
Just because you got a young husband, child, you ain't that boring.
Do you have Do you have music on, or are you just listening to?
Oh no, it's headphones. We in the zone, because when I'm in the yard, that's the only time the kids leave me alone. Like it's like a force field or something. So nobody want that smoke. And I'm in Alabama, so it's not cool. That's my exercise.
Okay. Oh man, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. What about you guys? What are you guys doing for fun? We have to make sure we show people the contrast, right?
I dance and I listen to music and I sing to the top of my lungs. And I like a beach. I'm gonna go to a beach, and I like water. It's just something about water for me that is just so, I don't even want to say fun for that. It's just, it's just a peaceful place. But for fun, I'm dancing, and I cannot dance, but you would think that I would.
I'm sure you can dance better than most. You hitting them with the sprinkler.
It's like percolating, like time for the percolator. It's like my kids are like, Mom, what is the percolator? You want to know, don't you?
The up north thing. They don't know what it is down here.
It's just, but music, dancing, just letting my hair down, because sometimes I can just get so in the grind, and it's just like, let's cut this music on and let's dance,
Let's go in. Oh,
yeah, me and one of my mentors, we have what we call a board meeting. And you see our old 40, 50-year-old selves on the long boards at the park, just cruising. You know, we can't skateboard. We passed that part, but hit them long boards where it just cruise, baby. And you'll catch us every Saturday during our board meeting.
Board meeting. I like that.
And that's a skateboard? Skateboard?
Yeah, but it's a skateboard for old people.
Okay.
So you don't gotta like kick push. You just give it one good push and it just kind of coasts for you.
Oh, okay.
Man, what about you, bro? What do you do for fun?
It was interesting that roller skating was mentioned. I got to an age where I convinced myself that I'm just too old to fall. So I haven't really gotten back on skates again, but that's something that I really want to do because I see a lot of young people really enjoying it. And I watched a documentary that talked about the history of roller skating in the African-American community. So I thought that was really unique, and that kind of piqued my interest to go back out on the on the skating rink. But I haven't gotten out there yet, but that's on my bucket list. And to Sheila's point, I took some ballroom dancing lessons a couple months ago, and I mean, just doing those types of things, just doing a lot of different stuff that I never took the opportunity to do before. We talk about trusting the process. Part of my process, I didn't put in those times to celebrate, and I mean, I did burn out. And once you get to that point, I mean, you do have to kind of just recoup spiritually and get yourself back in the mind frame, and you start to kind of reconstruct your life. And I just do a whole lot of different stuff that I just never did before, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. What about you, Marquin? What do you do, bro, for fun?
Oh,
You losing?
He said he don't have no fun. Bye.
Wow. A few years ago, before the pandemic, I somebody asked me to be in a play, which is completely not up my alley. And I actually said yes, and I did it, and I had fun, and it was fine. It was good. So I think, like, honestly, you got to do different things that you just normally would not do to open up and spread your wings.
That's awesome.
You make a good point, like redefining what fun is too for you. And some of us is so limited in our experiences already because we've been professionals and we've been kind of cooped in. And so we can be very judgmental about, well, that ain't fun for me, but you don't know. Like, if that's what you fun, try it out, you know.
See, they have cars that are designed to go 300, 400 miles an hour, whatever the case is, right? So they built to do that. But if you in that same car, if you kept it float to the, pedal to the metal for an hour, 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever, it'll tear that car up. Mm-hmm. Same thing with us. Right? We are tricked ourselves in believing that we have to be in grind mode all the time, and we never let up. So you gotta take the time to smell the roses sometimes. Like we went to camping one day with a tent. Like, bro, I'm from the hood. We don't do that, right? But I had fun, man. You know what I'm saying? We bought some bikes and hit the trails, man. I'm talking about, bro, I felt like I was 13. I'm laughing and joking and the whole time, man. So I'm just doing stuff, man, I normally wouldn't do, and I'm having a ball, bro. Good. I'm stopping and smelling the road. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm loving that car analogy because I think that has a lot to do with consistency, right? I preach consistency over intensity because kind of like at the gym, right? People get started, they all excited about it, but you need to be consistent. But in addition to consistency, you need to pay attention to inspired action. Because like you said, that car, a sports car, it needs to rev up every now and then, right? Although consistency is best. And when you're ready to rev up and you're feeling inspired, I call that inspired action, then go for it. And you'll feel it. You will have the energy. You will know when it's something that you just can't let go and I have to kill it. And then when that energy subsides, that's why we got the consistency. That's going to keep things going in between those moments of this inspired action.
Yes.
Yeah. But great point. You have to learn how to turn off, though. I mean, mine have been controlling me for many, many years, right? I'm a phoneaholic. You know what I'm saying? I'm a phoneaholic. My wife had to tell me, put it down, put it down, put it down. And I don't know how to turn it off, right? She has to make me turn it off, right? And then when it happens, I have a ball. You know what I'm saying? So I think to tell you guys, man, yeah, you're going to be in grind mode, but when it's time to focus on the family and the kids and all that good stuff, do it. And do it.
But look, y'all, I'm single, so if you rich and you got a problem like Jay with that phone, I can make you put your phone
down.
Stop
it. It's not what they for, Ashley.
I'm with you, Ashley.
is not the right platform, Ashley.
It's okay. It's okay.
To do the $1 billion business stand up.
So here's the thing. So I think you make a point, Danielle, right? I think that we have trained, and I know you were playing, but I do think a lot of people think like that. Like when we're business, it's all business. But when you really start to get into business, you realize that you got to bring some laughter into the room. You got to joke. You got to take your professional candor off and just kind of be aligned and congruent with who you are naturally. And that's where you're going to, and now a simple conversation is fun for you, right? Oh, that was fun, you know.
I'm a comic relief of our club.
So I think that's one of the things that we've been stuck in, just the mindset of what is professional, right? What is appropriate, what is not appropriate, and how we should act and what we should look like, and all of these shoulds and coulds versus just being. Just be.
Yeah.
You know, be present, be available, you know, be centered, right? And just be honest with you. And that resonates to the world. You know.
Right. Yeah.
Sure. Danielle renamed me Cardi Winfrey. I'm gonna get forward, but you're gonna get an L, and we're gonna have to drop it like Megan every now and then.
I'm talking about like, and that is just so, and I think to some people that's liberating, right? That's just like, I can breathe. Yeah. I got a Danielle that calms me down. Like, Sheila, this is not, you know, no.
Everybody needs a Danielle. It ain't that deep. It ain't that deep, right? Not that deep.
So.
You ready, B? You ready,
Yep.
You ready, B? All right, let's rock.
Always.
Let me
I mean, I know it is.
I'll talk about it. I don't know what it is, but I'll talk about it.
Let me see what I did last time. I forgot what I did last time, bro. What did I do?
Look, man, I can't wait to see you in a couple years where you just kill
I'll tell you what, we switch you up here. We'll do it this way.
Okay. All right.
Let me see.
So
hold on. Let me switch you up here right quick. So I can highlight you, man. I give you that stage, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I love the stage. Never shy away. Throw me the ball, coach. Throw me the ball.
Throw me the ball. Put me in the game, coach. Hold on. Let me get you right, brother. If I can do it, I don't know what I'm doing now, but go ahead and get started. I'm going to set you up, bro. I'm going to get you right.
All right. I appreciate you. So, you know, I had a medical condition years ago where I had a blood clot in my lung, and I was in the hospital for 7 days. Now, anybody who has a type A personality and they stick you in anywhere for 7 days, it's like a nightmare. So during that time, I had this revelation that I needed to do more than make rich people rich. You know, what I do as a financial consultant is people give me a couple million and I try to make them more money. I make sure they never run out of money. That's what I do. So years ago, I started thinking about all the people that came to me for financial advice that I actually gave plans to, that I gave support to, that never came back. So all the plans were do these things and then come back. And so they never came back. Only a couple of women came back and they said, hey, we did what you told us to do. What's next? And it was completely amazing. And I gave them the next steps. But what about all the thousands of people that never came back? So what I decided through my revelation and trying to help other people was to help them tap into, to help them figure out a way to tap into their personal greatness. Okay. I believe unequivocally, and I talked about this last Tuesday, is that we're all so amazingly unique. You know, I talked about our fingerprints, our eyes, the fact that, you know, your phone can only open up your face. Even with the mask on, it can still open up just from this much space. So we're all so unique and we all have a gift. Inside of that, the problem, or one of the problems, is that we are so convoluted with all of the external garbage. And I guess I should have asked Jay when he first asked me to present, you know, what's the language, required language on these things, so I make sure I stay in line.
No cussing.
But, okay.
Go in.
So I wasn't going to do it. So what I have done is I said, you know what? I don't want to tell people about my journey. I don't want to tell people, look, if you want to be wealthy, if you want to be rich, if you want to do these things, if you want to be fit, this is what you need to go do. So I'm not the cat that's going to say you have to get up at 4 a.m. I'm the cat that says, what's your best hour? What is your best witching hour? When are you your absolute sharpest? And from that, I'm going to suggest to you that you start to revolve your life around where and when you operate at the best. So Danielle says, I'll talk about it, but I don't know what it is. So 24K is gold. Gold, pure gold, is burned at such a high intensity that the nickel burns off, the copper burns off, all of the other metals burn off, and you're left with pure gold. So my philosophy is simply that if you can recognize your goal and then burn off all of your impurities, the laziness, the procrastination, the unwillingness, saying no, saying yes too much. So if you can get rid of all your impurities, or as much of them as you can, and you let that pure gold of the gift that God gave you rise up to the top, the society will pay you for your value, but you have to offer gold value. And so I wrote a book about it, and the book is not, hey, go do what I did. The book is everything that we talked about. Do you have a morning routine? Do you have a routine? Do you have an evening routine? Do you have a workout routine? Do you have a belief system? Because some people don't believe in anything, but you have to believe in something, even if it's yourself. And most likely it should be something greater than you. We all have a purpose that's greater than ourselves. And so my philosophy is that if you get your money right, because I stick with what I know, and that's the money game. If you get your money right, now you have the ability to not be enslaved to a job, to a person, to a boss, to whomever, and now you can go and tap into your purpose. You can tap into what you were born and bred to do. And if you do it at an extremely high level, which is only you can, we can have 100 real estate agents and 100 different ways to approach it. And you just have to master your way to the best of your ability, and then society will pay you, and society proves it. Who makes the most money? Family practitioner or thoracic surgeon? The all-star superstar on the basketball team, or the guy that's, riding the bench. He's on the team, but he's not the rock star. So society pays for value. I say society pays for discipline. When we go watch these premium athletes, when we would go watch Najee or John Legend, we are witnessing their personal greatness, and we want to see that greatness, and we will pay to see that greatness. We will pay to see Ashley hold us accountable at 4 o'clock to get our revenue where we want to be, so we can live the life that we want to live, the way we want to live it, as often as we want to live it, whenever we want to live it, wherever we want to live it. That's what I believe people should be aspiring to. And so 24K is something that everybody can relate to as it turns into gold, but not to the point to where I'm trying to say everybody should be rich. You should be fulfilled. You should be doing the things that elevate your spirit to the point to where 18 people can't pull you down. You should raise the temperature in the room. The temperature should not lower your body heat. You go in and raise it. Don't let people bring you down. You bring them up. And if you can't bring them up, you're in the wrong room. You need to go in a different room. And so I'm not a big believer. I've read hundreds of books. But the ones that tell you, hey, this is how I became rich, this is how I became successful, go do this, they don't, I'm a morning person. Don't tell me I got to stay up at midnight and function sharp. I function extremely well early in the morning. So I'm like Ashley. I get up and I meditate. I pray. Actually, that's not true. I'm like Danielle. I go to the gym and I grind it hard. I shower, clean up, I pray, meditate, then I go start my day. And so, what we do on a personal level, and when I say personal, it's business, is we help people get their money right, and we give them a roadmap. We give them a playbook so that they can start mapping out their code. That's why I call it the code. They can map out their code to personal greatness.
Dope. Dope, man. Dope.
Where's the donation bin? Is that being sent around? I feel like I want to testify.
I'm telling you, golly, I'm fired up now.
Man, what?
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I talked about it last week. I talked about the fact that, if you go back to the statistics, and I'm not 100% sure, it might have been Jay who laid it out, but if we go back to the statistics and we say, listen, only 5% are going to be on their game, right? I think it was Ashley said it. Only 5%. So the other 95%, you're like, oh, wow, that's too bad. My point is that we're the 5%. So we have to elevate, because if we only show our kids basketball players, if we only show them rappers, if we only show them, the Jay-Z's of the world or the LeBrons that are billionaires, it's great they're billionaires. But you know what? I mean, they can't touch those cats. No. They can touch you. They can touch me. And so it's our duty to step up and crank it out. It's Ashley's duty to go get that $30 million back. That's your duty.
You're gonna get it too.
Right. That's your obligation. So Sheila, that's the deal, Michelle. I mean, that's it. We have to, and we can't leave it up to anybody else, because if anybody else could do it, they'd be doing it.
Okay.
Oh,
so we're like, don't stop.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Can we get a chapter read?
What else you selling?
I'm selling you. I'm selling greatness. It's like, the byline of my book says the only difference, the 24K Life Code, the only difference between mediocrity and greatness. And I heard somebody say today, I didn't say it, so I'm not taking credit for it. They said, you are just as close, the average person is just as close to the bottom as they are the top. Which way are you going to go? What are you going to choose?
Wow. So I got a question. So it says money is a mindset. Break that down again for me.
So first of all, I say those things because if I go to someone and says, hey, you're not in great shape because your head's screwed on wrong. You're broke because your head's screwed on wrong. Your business is floundering because your head. Nobody's going to listen to anything I have to say after I say your head's screwed on wrong. Okay? Because nobody wants to be told their head's screwed up. But mindset is the new religion. Everything is mindset. If you can use the same principles you use to get in physical shape, to get in financial shape, and the same rules for financial shape, physical shape for your relationship. I mean, all of it is mindset. So when I say money is the mindset, I say it because if I just say you're off, nobody's going to listen to me. So we talk about the money because people are attracted to money. Everybody wants to be rich, or not everybody, but people want to be wealthy. People want to have resources. I get all that, but it's a mindset. So the people that you've witnessed, I went to a private grade school and high school. My cousin went to a public grade school and high school. And I always thought, she don't stand a chance against me. She's the county prosecutor. Right? I mean, it is a mindset. There is no barrier except for the limiting beliefs you have in your head. And it applies to everything. We all have just picked different subject matters, be it real estate or tech, or like Andre, investing. We've all just picked a different way, but you got to get your head game right. Money is a mindset, So we all say, the love of money. No, that's all a game. That's just a way to keep everybody depressed. I don't mean sad. I mean depressed down.
Physically depressed.
Ashley did not flinch and saying, not going to happen to me again, because she has the right mindset, right? She didn't say, woe is me, that guy's a jerk. I can't believe I missed this opportunity. I'm never going to get in this again. I'm just going to throw my hands up. She goes, no, I am going to get what I'm supposed to have, and nothing's going to stop me. Andre's the same way. He says, hey, I was burned out, but I took some time out. I got my head game together, and now I'm back in the hunt. Same thing with you, Jay. I mean, everybody here. That's why I say you all are the crew. It's us.
Yeah, man. It's a mindset. It definitely is, man. You have to make a decision and go get it.
Yep.
It's as simple as that, man. I mean, think about it. You can have two people grow up in the same household, have the same parents. And one go left, one go right. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I get it.
Real. It's a mindset.
That's where the delayed gratification comes in, like we were talking about earlier, because you make the decision that you're going to go get it, but you might not actually receive it, but you've already planted the seed. For our gardeners, you've planted the seed, but you got to wait a little bit to eat that apple. You want to eat an apple, you got to wait a little bit.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Man, boy, this is deep here, man.
If a bug gets in that apple, you got to wait longer.
Any questions for Derick?
I mean, I've never heard of a corn farmer who went and planted corn every day and didn't have a cornfield.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Ooh.
Exactly.
Jay, I just got to say I got to get going. I had a hard cutoff at 7, but I really enjoyed this discussion. I appreciate you all. It was a pleasure meeting you all. And I look forward to continuing this discussion. And I mean, man, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Andre, man, appreciate you coming on. Good to see you too, brother. All right. I'll get with you tomorrow. All right, brother.
Andre, how do we keep in touch with you, friend, before you hop off?
I'll put my email in the chat box.
Awesome.
If it's okay, I'll send it through the group chat as well, if that's okay with you, Andre.
That's fine. Take care of that. I appreciate it.
Okay, no problem. I'll send it through the group chat for you guys.
All right. Yeah, have a good one now. Good night.
Thank you. Yeah. All right. Man, listen, this is deep here, man. This is deep, man. So you guys, I just need 10% of what you guys are doing together, and I'll be all right, man. It's 10%, man. So look, the next thing we do is called the Hot Topics, right? But this is the bag drop edition. All right, y'all ready for this? Let's go. This is the bag drop edition.
You said there are 724 billionaires in the U.S. I can't see the other part.
7 are black.
7 are black. Are they single? Would be my question.
Stop.
I will make number 8 by marriage.
I'm about to say Kanye just got freed up, but yeah, you don't want that smoke.
It's 2 parts.
I don't think you gotta do some more surgery.
And this is according to Forbes, right? 2021 or whatever. So 724 billion in the U.S. and it's only 7 black. Y'all know what that is?
Oprah, Jay-Z,
Rihanna,
Kanye.
Jay-Z. There's that professor. There's other ones that aren't as famous, but I just looked at that list recently. I can't remember the name. So.
And remember, this is for 2021 according to Forbes, right? So
okay, you got it scrolling. Oprah, David Stewart, Tyler Perry. I forgot. Put some respect on his name.
Sure did make that up.
I think we in trouble. If they are only billionaires, we in trouble.
Break that down.
I think I know what you're getting at.
Like, we don't have no other type of entrepreneurs that became billionaires that's in the black community. Yeah. It's crazy, you know?
Yeah. Well, there's a couple educators and investors on there, but those aren't the ones that we know.
But my biggest thing was, it's 720, 725 or 724? Only 7? Come on, man. Yeah. What did they say? We about 13% of the population or something like that? Yep. We can't get 10%.
But I'm sure it was even less 10 years ago. So we got to start somewhere.
That's true.
And we kill it when we enter the game. So what is it going to look like in 10 years? You know what I'm saying? So they got to pave the way. They paving the way because you think every single one of those people have companies, and I'm sure they're building people. Just like, think about it, Jay-Z, Rihanna, and Kanye are on Billionaires list. That's a network right there. Like, that's crazy. And so they're making millionaires. The millionaires are making people. So they're paving the way. Just like, Sidney Poitier for actors back in the day. It's got to start somewhere.
And there's industries that's opening up too. We just talked a little bit about the tech world, right? So there's going to be a lot of them come through there as well, man. So one thing about it, where we are, we do shine. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You see what we do with everything. They better not.
So the key to
everything they can keep us out. Because once it's open, it's over.
That's true. See, the key to this whole thing is that when you get your foot in the door in that situation, you gotta leave it cracked just a little bit so we can kind of force our elbow in there to get in there too. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing, man. But the first person or the next person that go through that, get that $1 billion, will get hit shot with all them different arrows though. So you gotta expect it. If you go in there thinking it's gonna be all cool, that's not how it goes. You know what I'm saying? But it'd be a little easier for that next person. Before you know it, we all sitting up there chilling, you know what I'm saying? Drinking, sipping a Mai or something on the water or something like that.
And I think to Danielle's point, when you get into that B club, when you get into the Billionaire Club, it really is an invite only. And that's why you see so many connections between these people. That's why you see Oprah and she brought Tyler. That's why you see Kanye, Jay-Z, they brought each other. I mean, it is really an invite only club. And I think we are doing the right thing, slowly but surely. But we are inviting our peer groups into it and helping them reach that B too. But we have to remember too, that B word comes with a whole lot of responsibility.
Yes, it does.
A whole lot of responsibility. And I think someone said this earlier, it doesn't show your name, it just shows your business down here, Shaping Solutions. But Sheila, thank you. But to Sheila's point, she was saying earlier just about the power of us, like just really being able to say, this is my product, here's what I sell. The power of us being able to really make it past the, I'm scared to ask for money. I think once we get past that point, we can really start taking these B's seriously. But until then, and someone else said earlier too about knowing your story. I think a lot of times too, in buying and selling businesses, people are going to buy your story. People love Oprah's story. She started from nothing, and then she came to something, and we all were able to watch her through that journey. We watched what, Derick? Her discipline, right? Yep. People want to pay you for that.
They will. And she knew what she wanted, right? She, even with her magazine, if you read anything about her, you know, she reviews every corner. Even though she doesn't do the work, she reviews every corner of that before it goes out to the world.
And like Sheila said, being yourself. Who is more themselves than Kanye?
He made that a brand.
And he's unapologetic about it. But I think that we also have to say, especially
corrected, 1.8 billion.
I was about to say, you got to get the updated list, man. They got a 2022 list.
No. That says millionaires, not billionaires.
Okay. I thought you. Okay, I got you.
I was trying to shed a little light on the darkness.
Okay, I got you. See, listen. I don't have an ego at all. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna tell you I'm wrong, man.
Oh no, you're not wrong. I was just trying to spread some love.
Okay. 1.8 million, 1.8 black millionaires in the U.S. So that's huge. That is huge. I get that part.
So I'm gonna ask a question to the financial advisors and to us as businesses, and I think Oprah really spoke about this. How many steps do you take forward before you start to, in some way, pull people in? And I think that sometimes we do that too early. Does that make sense? Like, let me establish my position, right? And in establishing my position and anchoring where I'm at, the surety of me getting you here is 120%.
Yes.
But if I haven't established my position, right, and I haven't done what I needed to do, then the possibility of me getting you here, or us even getting there, or me getting there, is like lessened by almost 100%, right? So, but I think that in our culture, there's this, oh, you hit $1 million, you owe me 500,000 or $2. No, but that's not my goal. If my goal is to be the billionaire, let me get to the billionaire, and then let me come get you. And having the conversation of, because I have to learn that, like, look, let me get 10 steps ahead before I take these 2 steps back and bring you. Because me getting 2 steps ahead and coming to get you is taking me 1 step back, and I'm teetering every time, financially, emotionally, right? And so my question to the panel and to our audience too is, when do we start to reach back? Because I know we get a lot of flack for not, but is there a designated time when we should say, okay, I can't come get you right now, but I'm coming. Even Rosa Parks, not Rosa Parks, but what's her name? Harriet Tubman had to get there. She went and got free, right? And stayed there for a little bit before she went back. You know what I mean? And got the slaves. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I got to chime in on this one because I'm severely technical. And I want to be able to ask certain questions, and a lot of them are mindset questions, where it's like, you know, finding those questions to be able to judge somebody. Like Ashley told us a story where it's like, you're not going to make it on this journey with me. As I change my mindset and I see when I say things, you get the, no, you can't do that. Or, okay, I'm going to leave you right here. And I'm going to keep going this way. I'm going to leave you right here. That doesn't mean I cut you off, but you're going to stay back here until you change your mindset. You change your mindset, then, you know, but those boundaries, because you want to keep people around, but as you grow, if they're intimidated by you or, you know, can't get on board or don't vibe with you, you got to establish those boundaries.
And how many
they're
of
trying
us
to leech off of you?
Yeah. And how many of us have to go through convincing you of why I'm doing what I'm doing? I don't want to have to convince you, because, and that's the thing, the dream is mine. Yes. It was given to me, right? It wasn't given to everyone, right? So I already have everything I need to get there. I just got to dig deep and execute that and get there, right? But me thinking about how you feel about me getting there, or how much I should owe you because I got there or because I'm on my way there, I don't know. I just think it starts to kind of, it's like survivor's remorse, like, oh, I feel so bad, I should do this. And I think Oprah talks about it a lot, though, like how she just had to learn how to say no.
Yeah. Can I keep it real, man? I've been in the business now about 8 years now. I'm just getting over that. I've been dealing with survival remorse for years, because it was like I'm leaving my family. I'm leaving my partners, man. Like, come on, man. Y'all come on. We free over here. And they don't want, you know what I'm saying? They don't want it. I try to force, my wife told me from day one, they don't want it. You need to just go and do what you got to do. And I'm like, you know what you're talking about? We arguing the whole, you know what I'm saying? So now it's like, I'm finally realizing that ain't nothing I can do. I gotta go on. And I dealt with that, man, too. I feel emotional right now about it, because I've been telling, I teach people how to do this. Yeah. Why you ain't with me, man? What is going on? But, you know, it's not for them, I guess. So I'm just getting over that now.
And then you realize, though, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. How many of you have had a book on your shelf, okay? And you were talking to someone, and you're like, yeah, you got to read this book. It's an amazing book. And you're like, that sounds familiar. And you go home, or you go to buy the book, or you're in your process, and then you see that you have the book, you've never read it. It's just not your season. When it's your season, you will go get the book, you will read the book, and then I wish I would have read this 15 years. It's been on my shelf for 10 years. I wish I would have read it. Obviously, you weren't ready. You weren't ready. And so I treat people, I give one exception, just one, and that's for a spouse. Everybody else gets no exceptions. It's like the train is going north. You talk about Ask the Financial Guy, it's going northeast. That's the way the stock market goes. North, east, that's forward, right? So the spouse is the only one, and the only reason why I give spouses a break is because we have all set a precedent. Let's say you've been drinking beer your whole life, and all of a sudden you're going to stop drinking beer. And he or she is like, well, I still want to drink beer. Why aren't you drinking beer? Like, okay, I decided to give it up. And I know we used to do this together. So I'm going to stop because of whatever reasons, health reasons or whatever. And you should too, but you know what? I'm going to give you time to do what you need to do. So when it comes to our business, Tony Robbins talks about this a lot. You know, you hear some of the people at his events, and they're like, well, my spouse, I go home and they berate me and they beat me up and they belittle me because I want to move forward. And they're like, why are you doing that? Why are you so highfalutin? Why are you all this business entrepreneur stuff all of a sudden? It's because you made that decision and they're not ready. But they're the only ones to get a little bit of grace, and they only get a little bit.
That's dope.
A little bit.
They only get a little bit. No?
I love that question, Sheila, because Danielle and I went to high school together, and she'll tell you in this accountability group, we've had several people who we've gone to school with. I've trained my mom, my sister, my cousins, and all of that. And it took years, right, for them to believe in me. And it took for me not going back, honestly. Just like you said in your example, I had to go and build what I was doing first. And once they saw the product that I had, they wanted in on it. And I think it says a lot about a person, because Jesus couldn't even do it in his own city, right? He made that very clear in the Bible. You got to leave first, then you come back. And I followed that same exact course. And almost everybody in my family owns real estate. I love talking about how I gift houses to some family members only after they take my course, because I know they can take care of it. But I think that's a really valid question. And I think it was answered well. You need to go out, take care of yourself first. I didn't even speak to some of my family members for years. But when I came back, oh baby, I came back. I came back, as the kids said.
Yeah. And I think that we really need to think about that, because sometimes that's the very thing that's holding you back. And remember that the journey that you're going to, it's people there for you, right? Yes. It's new people there for you to support you in that place that you're at. And I always talk to me like, oh, no new friends. I'm like, no. You can't have a no new friends policy, not when you're on a journey of change and transformation, because at any level, you're going to meet somebody that may turn out to be your friend for that season. And you're going to need them to be your friend for that season, or you're going to need their conversation in that season. And if you're shut off mentally and emotionally from that conversation, now you're stunning yourself, you know? Yep. In the hurt that we've experienced in our core group of individuals by rejection and things, we gotta stop projecting that on the new members that come into our life. Because if you on the right path, when you in alignment, all your 750 billion trillion sales is announcing to the person that needs to come into your life, hey, Sheila here, and this is what she needs. Hey, Danielle's here. Hey, Ashley is right here. Ashley needs this conversation, right? And so life starts to orchestrate for you and move for you in such a way when you get congruent and aligned with your potential. So you really don't have to ask like, oh, why you here? I know why you here.
That's right.
You here to help me on my journey. I already know that.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Seasons. That's hard for people to realize.
One of my past mentors used to tell us the best way to help the poor is to not be one of them.
Poor. Yes. To not be poor.
Yes.
You can't get poor enough to go back and help the poor. You can't get sick enough to heal all the sick. You simply can't. I love that point, Derick.
Yep.
You create the residuals. You build a company, you encourage people to get businesses, build those companies, the people that are capable, so they can, provide more resources to those people. And eventually over time, yes, because it goes back to all the topics we said, they have to have their own journey. You can't force a journey on somebody. So like you said, it may not be their time and it may not be their season, but when their season
like
comes,
my dad, I'm very open. My dad was a crackhead, right? A lot of time homeless, and if you ask him, he had the best life. He will tell you, I'm telling you, he will tell you he had a life of freedom. He had a life of no responsibilities. He can get up and live life the way that he wanted to. If you were to ask my father to evaluate his life, he would have told you 10. He would have told you 10.
He did it his way.
People where they are.
Mm-hmm. He did it his way. So.
Yeah, he did it. Bro, that's the song we had at his funeral. I did it my way. And did he lie? He did not lie. That man had a free life, a life that all of us are trying to get. I want financial freedom. Why? So you can be like my dad and chill all day, and then whatever your thing is, you can do more of your thing.
Right.
Listen, this was go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say this is one for the ages right here though. I wish everybody could have been here to feel this, because I felt all of this, man. And there's no wonder why you guys are successful. You know what I'm saying? There's no wonder. Listen, continue to pour in people and you will be successful. But you got to make sure that you put it in you first, though.
Absolutely.
Don't forget that part. This is what this is about. Anytime you want to come back, Ashley, and do what you do, come back and do what you do. Danielle going to be a weekly person with her, so we're rocking with her, so... So anytime, but again, don't forget about us, right? Don't forget about us.
I'll make sure she don't.
Yeah, y'all got a gym right there, and Danielle, I can't wait till y'all really see what this woman can do. I can't wait.
So, final thoughts, guys. What's your social media handles? All that good stuff, man. How you be reached and all that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna post it on these different sites and stuff. But if you want to say it, that's great too. If you had a good time, tell us you had a good time. If you had a bad time, tell us that too. I heard our feelings at all.
Well, listen, I have to go ahead and lead our next accountability group, so I'll go first. And I will say this has been amazing. Danielle and I say often in our group, iron sharpens iron. And I enjoyed the banter. I enjoyed the different perspectives, but I also enjoyed that all of us had a common perspective with the smaller ones, and that's mindset is everything.
Absolutely.
So get in touch with me, Ashley Lorraine, MED. That is my handle on everything, Ashley Lorraine, M.ed. And then also, if you are interested in working with me, you want to go to ashleyloraine.med.teachable.com. We had the #1 best-selling course in February, so you are in good hands.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Look, I guess I'll go ahead and follow. So my bad, I'm cutting in. My company is DCDR Solutions. That's across all platforms. Business consultant. I'm excited. I love working with people. Love bringing people out of that. So yes, I got to get ready to hop on hers too. We got work to do.
And I'm just Sheila Little, licensed clinical therapist. I'm a relationship coach and a business psychologist. We got our Stop It Now program coming out, which is a framework just to help individuals stop some things in their life that's really holding them back. So we are launching that June 24th. You can follow me on all my handles. On all social media platforms. That's my handle. I'm Shaping Solutions, and a mindset matters. That's just what it is. And a lot of times we just have these limited beliefs that's stored in our mind, and we believe these things to be true, and they just not true, and sometimes we just need a different perspective on the things that we can do in life. And so my Stop It Now workshop is to really help individuals to unlock their potential.
Excellent. Well, I'll finish up. I'm Derick Gant. That is my social handle, Derick Gant with 1 R. And my final thought would be, specifically for all of us entrepreneurs, and not just us here, but the people that are watching, people in your life that are challenging are just playing their position. They're just playing their position. They are there for you to overcome, to move around, to move above. They're just playing their position. So you keep playing yours and keep rising.
I'm Jay Wicker. Listen, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Eminem got a song said "Lose Yourself." If you go on YouTube and pull up "Lose Yourself" and listen to that song, if you don't take the shot, this ain't for you. Simple as that. Right? Take the shot. And you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Get around some people who are like-minded people. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to everybody's channel, and go win, man. Simple as that. Man, this has been the bomb, bro. This has been the bomb. So listen, next week I got something for y'all. So y'all got to get ready for next week. So all right, thank you again for tuning in, and a salute. Much success to you guys, man. Rock stars, man.
Nice to meet you all.
The rest of the week. Go kill the rest of the week for me. All right, peace.
All right, peace.